A modern person is surrounded by a huge amount of different information, from news on world politics to a variety of shows and entertainment programs. Unrest in states of war, personal problems, and tragedies lead to intensified search for mental balance. At such a time, you want to distract yourself, calm down, learn how to control your own mind and emotions. And modern times offer a variety of ways to achieve this. In a world of chaos and disorder, people begin to turn inwards to the soul. For example, we can now observe a growing interest in psychology, psychotherapy, and a variety of meditations and spiritual practices. And one of the most popular ways to relax and restore order in your head is yoga. Yoga studios, yoga for children, online meditation, yoga coaches and teachers, home yoga classes. What is this? And why did we decide to talk about this? I'm sure you know kind of what it is and what it looks like, but let's define it. In simple terms, yoga is a set of practices that incorporates the physical, mental, and spiritual aspects. They are aimed at controlling various functions of the body and consciousness. These practices were developed within the framework of two of the world's largest religions that originated in Hindustan, Hinduism and Buddhism. So, a little history. The approximate time of the origin of yoga dates back to 3000-2000 BC. As evidence of the images of the human figures in meditation and yoga poses found on several seals from the time of the Indian civilization. Now it is considered that yoga developed from the ascetic practice of the religion of the Vedas, the oldest and earliest form of Hinduism, which preceded the current Brahmanism. Initially, yoga was associated exclusively with a spiritual and theological component. The transition to a more physical practice dates back to 10th and 12th century AD. Yoga as a system of physical exercise is called Hatha Yoga and is one of the 5 main types of yogas. The other 4 are Raja Yoga, which is controlling the mind through meditation, Karma Yoga, the selfless work, Jnana Yoga is the merging consciousness of Brahman, and Bhakti Yoga is a devotional and loving service to Ishvara, the supreme god standing above the many deities of the Hindu pantheon. The most common yoga, or for the masses, is Hatha Yoga. But even this is a much more mental practice as it is a physical one. The most important role in Hatha is playing as asanas, yoga poses. Each pose has a specific name, often dedicated to a particular deity, and carries a spiritual significance. And of course, the physical exercise is followed by the work with the soul and the mind. For example, I quote, "The asana of Hanumanasana immediately paints before us a powerful image of the ape-like god Hanuman, the embodiment of devotion and steadfastness. And by performing these difficult asanas, you are also filled with the qualities inherent to Hanuman: perseverance, humility, and unshakable faith in our ability to accomplish the impossible." Such a temporary incarnation of the deity, animal or plant, is an important element of the yoga philosophy. Pranayama, or working to control your breathing, is also considered an important factor in yoga. It serves to purify the body and consciousness. And here is where we can immediately see the obvious contradiction to Christian teaching. Number 1, yoga preaches Hinduism, Buddhism, and all the postulates belonging to these religions. Christianity professes the one God and completely refutes the principles of Buddhism and Hinduism, reincarnation, polytheism, and etc. For there is one God, 1 Timothy 2:5. Just as people are destined to die once and after that to face judgment. Number 2, yoga calls for a complete purification of the mind and unity with the divine. Christianity offers to renew the mind by filling it with God's word. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Let the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom. Number 3, yoga talks about the possibility of achieving balance, nirvana, with the universe through enlightenment and meditation. The Bible teaches that peace is born in the person who accepts Jesus Christ into his heart, and God gives him this peace. Jesus answered, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives." And again, someone will say, why not practice yoga just like gymnastics without plunging into the mystical depths? It's impossible. Yoga is a part of the religion of Hinduism, and there's no getting away from it. Its very foundations are based on religious traditions of Hinduism and Buddhism. Therefore, everyone who practices yoga gets involved in the spiritual parts in one way or another, even if it's just to do the stretches. Looking at the translation and origin of the word yoga, in the Latin it translates to religion, as well as connection, unity. In both cases, it means a person establishes a connection with God, or with some other forces invisible but able to interact with him. Thus, it is illogical to say that yoga is outside religion. Yoga and religion are synonyms. Is there really yoga without all this spirituality? If we just call it stretches. There are many exercises aimed at increasing flexibility, strength, and wellness. And if your only interest is physical training, then seek that instead of turning to yoga, with its invisible connection to spirituality and Buddhism. If this video was useful for you, please share it, like it, or write a comment. This will help spread the word further. In the description below this video, you'll find additional information on this topic. Let's expose evil and protect our children.